Alrighty, welcome to Amiri's All-Star Birthday Party 2025, proudly brought to you by SJP Creative Studios. So the day began with a lot of planning and preparation for Amiri's birthday party, and as you can see, the theme for the day was classic NBA. So the guys were setting up the kids as well as adding the final touches for both teams by adding the logos. Yes sir. There was still so much that needed to be done. Tents needed to be set up, balloons had to be blown, banners had to be put up, and the stage was supposed to be set for the amazing event, as well as sound checks that were done by our awesome, amazing DJ for the day, Papi Dolph. The location for the day was Santon, and as always, luxury and class was to be expected. It was just the perfect place to host such an event. The scenery was just amazing, and honestly, there was more yet to come for this amazing day. You ain't seen nothing yet. With the clock ticking until game time, the tents were set and guests began to arrive. As you can see, that's Amiri right there welcoming all his guests as they began to arrive for the event. This is the 94 square feet battleground in which the Wall Street Ballers and the Sesame Street Hoopers would go head to head. An intense game ahead of us. What's one thing all main characters have in common? A training montage. And of course, Amiri being the main character of this story, we just had to give him one.
When I'm up and about, chest and cheddar, we go there, no doubt. See a 10, I'm a trap in no cloud. She love my still shit when it with no cloud. When the team for your equal.
With the clock ticking down, we're eagerly getting closer to game time. An amazing 360 booth was also installed for the kids to use later on in the party. Papi Dolph, of course, providing the heat, the fire, the sauce, the flame, the beginning, the middle, the end, the starter, the main course, the dessert. Papi was serving out 7 colors before the food was even ready. And honestly, I must say that the music was safe in his hands for the duration of the day. Shout out to Papi Dolph for doing the things that needed to be done. Yes sir. Before the game began, the kids decided to help themselves to an all-you-can-eat chip and dip truck, which was put in place specifically for the occasion so that the kids could eat chip and dip to their heart's desire. And I must say, most of them definitely went in for seconds. He played everything, from hip-hop to R&B, from house to amapiano, from afro to maskandi. Everything was played just for the vibes. It was almost time for the game to begin, and all the kids were asked to go to the court so that they would be able to choose their teams. And of course, the team selection will be done by yours truly. So Josh, please, who was the MC of the day?
We've got Team Purple versus Team Green.
So Josh asked all the kids to stand in the line as the team selection process was about to take place. As the coach of the Wall Street Ballers, Coach Fabio had the honor of making the first selections, and of course he chose his team wisely. With the selections taking place, everybody wondered if Amiri would get picked. And suddenly Coach Fabio yells out Amiri's name, and not only was he chosen, but he was also made the captain of the Wall Street Ballers. So he was ready to lead his team to a very sweet victory. After the team selections were done, it was time for the Sesame Street Ballers to choose their teammates, and that honor was gladly given to Coach X. Throughout the selection process, everybody was eager to know what team they were going to be in, but as soon as we knew it, the selection process was over and the kids began changing into their new kits. The long-awaited battle between the Wall Street Ballers and the Sesame Street Ballers was about to begin. The kids were done changing into their team kits, and after that they were asked to go straight to the court so that they can begin their warm-ups as final preparation for the game. Amiri, the captain of the Wall Street Ballers, confidently walking down the court, knowing that he's very well about to handle some business. And as you can see, he's more than ready for action. Amiri began doing his warm-ups by first starting with a couple of leg stretches and of course trying to just lock in and focus on how he's going to beat the Sesame Street Ballers in this really tough game. Coach X decided to taunt Amiri and disturb his warm-up, but Amiri wasn't having any of that, so he decided to stand on business. With the game about to begin, the Sesame Street Ballers decided to have a group warm-up session with one person leading the drill. As you can see on the face of each teammate, the nerves began to kick in a little bit, but everybody was locked in, focused, and ready to take the W. And even though it was Amiri's birthday, the Sesame Street Ballers were not about to let him take the win. Everybody had pure determination deep within their eyes. With moments before the first quarter, the teams decided to have a group picture, and after that, both teams teams had a little face-off, and this was where the intense rivalry between both teams was displayed. As you can see, the boys were ready to go for the kill. But before the game began, Sir Josh decided to give an honorable mention to Amiri's mom, who made all this possible. Before the game began, Sir Josh asked for the captain of the Sesame Street Ballers to pull up their war cry. I thought that this was only a rugby thing, but hey, I guess it made its way to basketball as well. With that being said, the Sesame Street captain summons his team for them to demonstrate their war cry, and trust me, we were not ready for this at all.
Okay, what you got for us?
And tip off. With both teams going head to head, we were in for a very interesting game. The Sesame Street Ballers not wasting any time and already attacking and going in for their first point. The team was already finding it difficult to break through the Wall Street Ballers' defense. With nowhere to go, one of the Sesame Street Ballers decides to take things in his own hands. He cuts in between one player, goes in between the other two, and takes the shot and goes for goal. The Sesame Street Ballers take the lead. But of course, the Wall Street Ballers was not about to take that lying down, and immediately the team went in for the attack. The Sesame Street Ballers seem to have a tight defense. So with a little bit of teamwork and some really crazy individual brilliance, the Sesame Street defense was caught off guard, and the Wall Street Ballers returned the favor by scoring a point. The game was tied.
I'll be burning down these bridges that I don't intend to fix. No need to tell me to leave or take myself out the pic. Then get in another frame with energy that's legit. MAEGUS on the speed, boss to fire. I gotta leave some words on the street for people to see. Giving them a reason to speak every day. Live them questioning, is this really me? We're incoming with the flows.
As the game went on, you could see the feeling of discomfort within the kids' faces as they were kept on their edge of their feet towards the whole game. All the kids' feelings were boiling and tensions were higher than ever. And this was only the first quarter. As the clock was ticking down to the first quarter ending, the Wall Street Ballers received the free throw. So much pressure was put on the player as this was going to be the last play of the quarter. He takes the shot and he makes it. And time. That was the first quarter between the Wall Street Ballers and the Sesame Street Hoopers. The kids were called to go back to their benches as they called for a timeout, and both team coaches definitely had a lot to say about the first quarter. The Wall Street Ballers huddled up to their coach, and this is what he had to say.
Will go wide, cut across each other, and show you. Only for him. That's the only picks we're getting. We need more picks. Go up. If they foul you, they foul you. Let's make this quick. They're taking too long to score because you want to pass and dribble. Cut the dribbles, pass it forward. Who hustles for the ball? Not you. Bounce the ball, get up.
The Sesame Street Hoopers were also huddled up, and their coach had a lot to say about their performance in the first quarter. It was only the beginning of the game, and there was more yet to come.
This box here. They shoot, rebound, pass the ball up, dribble, have ISO moment. And come on,
Tell him you must guard Kamu.
Cut Kamu, don't let him go. This is your brother. I go Sesame about it. Hey, I say Sesame, you say street. Sesame! 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 Sesame!
Bucket for all three. That's all.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
The second quarter begins and the Wall Street Ballers are already on the attack. After that very encouraging pep talk from Coach Fabio, you could tell that there was a difference within the boys' style of play. The Wall Street Ballers broke through the Sesame Street Hoopers' defense yet again, and the game was tied once more. The game was really intense. There was so much back and forth going between the Wall Street Ballers as well as the Sesame Street Hoopers. So many chances were missed. Honestly, the game was super intense. So much so that it felt like the boys were playing in the NBA playoffs. The stakes were high. The Wall Street Ballers received yet another free throw, and the pressure was on once more. With all eyes on him, the player had one job: to make the shot. The ball was released and he couldn't quite make the shot. But to calm him down, his teammates went on to dap him up to show that they believe in him and his ability to make the shot.
There's so many things I haven't seen before. No. And we're not the ones who be checking the scores, just the ones putting on
Later on in the game, the Wall Street Ballers received yet another free throw, and this time it was nothing but net. The Wall Street Ballers led the game. A lot of quality skill was displayed throughout the entirety of the game. Some of them landed and some not so much. But that didn't stop the Sesame Street Hoopers' determination from taking the lead once more. The boys charged forward, determined to score yet another point. But the Wall Street Ballers weren't gonna make it any easy with their rock-solid defense. The Wall Street Ballers seemed to be dominating the game. With shots going in from every angle of the court, it seemed like they would always score every time they attacked, and they did. In and off the court, each and every player had a part to play, and the bench was definitely one of the biggest support systems within the game, motivating all their players to do their best and score more points. The Sesame Street Hoopers were keeping calm and composed even though they were trailing in the game. The second quarter ended, and Amiri seemed to be pleased with his team's performance, so he had this to say. Later on, the Wall Street Ballers decided to take more group photos. With the team leading the game in the second quarter, the boys thought that it would be cool if the whole team aura farmed. And I must say, plus 3,000 aura to all of them.
Get a drink or I cheat, I do neither. I feel trapped, I ain't free, need a piece of mine, so I get on my knees, yeah. If I'm gonna grind, I need Jesus. Fly out on the island, no visa, need a piece of.
Of course, Sir Josh pleased keeping everybody entertained with his live commentary and his mad funny jokes.
Tell me just what am I doing it for? But I still feel ignored. I can't seem to find me no more. I wanna drop out but ain't sure, cause I see my mom smile when I score. A high grade for a while I performed. The weed was the only high grade way before. Now I'm sober, life was like a chore. I'm not sober minded anymore. When I'm so behind I can't afford to give up on Christ, man, he's the sword. Hate who I would pretend to be. Say prayers for your enemies. Make sure to feed your family. Can't chase, I've been hurt and can't believe. Hate who I would pretend to be. Say prayers for your enemies. Make sure to feed your family. Can't chase, I've been hurt and can't believe.
As the day went on, the vibe at Amiri's party just kept getting better and better, with the parents enjoying themselves to good music and drinks and also cheering their kids on. The kids really did use this 360 booth to its fullest and most definitely abused it. And I must say, they looked really cool using it.
I've been trying to find peace, but it's hard to find. Feel like I'm losing my mind. I lost some friends, now I'm losing my sight. I made amends, but that's not what I like. I can't pretend.
And then it was finally time for the most anticipated part of the day, the cutting of the cake. And I must say, this was a really beautiful cake. The designs were just spot on and definitely in theme with the party. So Josh asked everybody to gather around as they were about to sing for Amiri happy birthday.
Is everybody ready? I want choir harmony. Alright, you guys got this, man. I want to Una 7, una 8 low, una 9, una 10, una 11, una 12.
Coming out to my birthday party. So if you're leaving, goodbye, and if you're staying, just gonna play around and have some balls. So can I get for the roll? Can I get a Scooby-Doo for the roll? Bye guys. And so is that just
The game, cut, the game, All right. Okay, so break time is over. We're gonna resume the game. Coach Rex, you ready, man? Your boys are ready. Fabio, you ready? Fabio. All right. Let's get all balls out the court. Let's get this game going. It is the last half. Score me up. What's the score right now? So that we know who is losing and who is winning. What's the score, bro?
With the second half underway, Coach Fabio decided to give his kids one last pep talk before the game began. The kids were getting settled in as the second half was about to begin, and the Wall Street Ballers had already received the free throw. With tensions rising and stakes getting higher than ever, it was definitely a pinnacle moment within the game. So a lot of pressure was put on the player to make the shot. The player wastes no time and immediately takes the shot. Unfortunately, he did not quite make the shot, and that was okay because he knew that he had one more chance to redeem himself. Player yet again, and this time he hoped to make the shot, but he missed. And with the last player of the game, it was finally over. The Sesame Street Hoopers took the win and the title of All-Star Team of the Day. But of course, our MVP was none other than Amiri. After the game was over, we had a special dunk contest from professional dunkers. The kids were super amazed at the amazing skills that were being displayed just before them. And for the final act of the dunk performance, one of the dunkers thought that it would be a good idea if he had Amiri and a couple of his friends line up so that he could jump right over them. Amiri was super excited because he's always wanted somebody to dunk right over his head, and his dream was about to be turned into a reality. Boom! Just like that, the dunker lands his shot. And that was it for Amiri's All-Star birthday party. Hope you had an amazing day.